What is up, crawler fans, RC enthusiasts, and social media surfers? I'm your boy Josh with MOFO RC, and check them out. Oh my freaking gosh, baddies on the table. All right, man, if you couldn't tell, this is a little bit new. Let's check them out, dude. Look at these links, bro. Why do we need links like this? That's why. Oh my gosh, dude. So if you couldn't tell, the last few days have been a little bit freaking crazy around here. Why? What happened? Well, dude, this thing was so freaking good. And in this setup as well, in the Poe link set, it was just so freaking good that going through the work for all these buggies and whatever, it was like, man, it was just hard to push that right now. So these things are not going away in the back, right? It's just, neither is the Rage, neither is the original OG Slayer, Cage Slayer. They're all still available, but this is going to be my focus. I have another one. It is incredibly simple. It is incredibly freaking awesome. It takes everything that we've ever done and put it into the simplest freaking, most adaptable, awesome little package ever, dude. Wait, I have way more to show off on this. Today, we're going to go run buddies, and we're going to go run these two rigs. So we're going to talk about that in a normal narration style. And if you want to know how to freaking build these, and you want to see the potential of this thing and what it is and what it can do, and you want to know more about it, tips and tricks with Tex this week, dude. Stay tuned. Let's go. All right, bro. We on the rocks. Homies on the rocks, dude. Thanks for joining us. Let's go freaking play. In the leader, I don't even know what his name is, dude. We got to figure out a name for this rig, but also for this whole freaking chassis, how I'm going to call it. I am in love with this little guy. It's not really that different. It's the same freaking setup. I just chopped everything off that was not necessary. Just like the whole rest of it. The STK line, everything. Anyways, dude, I sure do appreciate you guys hanging out. I hope that you had a great freaking weekend. And so I just wanted to say thanks for being here, dudes. You guys are freaking awesome, dude. I hope you have a great week. If this is all you watch, dude, we just out here playing cars. I'm just going to talk a bunch of noise and try to even just work through some thoughts in my head. And then just stay tuned this week. We will have tips and tricks with Tex, dude. I will be showing off these rigs. I'll break them down for all the dudes that are looking for rigs and wanting new stuff. Dude, it's coming. It's right there. I'm on the edge. I just had to stop and sort this stuff out. The POFO was so freaking good, bro, that, it just was like, what am I doing? All the dropout is fun, but at the same time, I reconfigured that link set and made a ledge killer, bro, like, just insane. So you can run it POFO. We got a whole bunch of different link options that I got to think of, like, how to package this stuff. So there will be some link sets. For specific link sets, there will be big link sets for builders, just because I want to include you guys in like what I do. When I go to build a rig, you have an idea, and you're like, well, what if you try this? And then you're like, well, you don't have you need upper links, and they're certain length, and, so having, for me, it's super fun because I've got tons of different lengths and shapes and whatever to be able to mix and match and, make it work out, so I'd like to try to do that. The idea is, I got to make money, but at the same time, I want to give parts for guys to be able to build cool stuff for a reasonable deal. So just trying to come up with the best way to do this, to package it all up, that it makes sense, that it's not hella confusing. I heard you dudes about names, about ugly, about all this type of stuff. I understand. And so that's what I am addressing. All right. So the rig in the front is basically the rig from last week, the 4 videos of tips and tricks with Tex. First 4 episodes. And so we ran it as the Slayer, we ran it as a Rage, and now we're running it as this. Again, same basic setup. I did turn the motor around and reconfigured everything. It's just simpler, cleaner, freaking rad. Also found out that I've been recommending all the FMS and Hobby Plus 18P electronics. That was a mistake. I apologize. I was running the I was running the FMS FCX24 V2 electronics in the buggy, and it was jerky, snappy, loss of torque, not the smoothest. It was okay. It's like basically more like the torque is a little low, and then the punch is set at like 5 or more versus the one that's in here, which is the Hobby Plus from the CR18P. It's like with a punch setting of 1, so it has a nice slow start. Yes, it does stop on with enough force or whatever, enough obstacle, enough resistance, it will stop. But it's predictable as you start to pull the trigger. It doesn't run down the hill near as bad. Just much better. Come on! So Pinky in the back, very much better setup than it was last week. Sammy's doing his best to get that thing under control and whatever. So it's a lot of rig, and so that was actually a big part of the whole thing for me of going back to the beginning. And that rig is amazing. Stinky pink in the back. That's the Elite bare bones with the cage. It's a freaking amazing kit. But it's a lot of work to set up. It's a lot of work to learn to drive. It's an incredible amount of rig, right? It's Elite, no question, bro. Like, you've seen me drive Maximus, and it's a baller. So it's it has so much of everything. Learning how to drive it and getting it to be composed is a huge challenge. So when I went back to the beginning and the rigs were so freaking killer after taking all of the knowledge, all of the builds I've done this year and taking all that into the beginning that we started with, I made a rig that was just incredibly better. And so it was just not better than the Elite or whatever, but it's just incredibly good and simple and lightweight and super fun to drive. And it's going to cost hella less money and all these type of things. So, for me, trying to gain ground and trying to, just hone this and be able to do something that I can repeat and continue doing and be proud of and whatever, and keep up with, this rig is it. It prints amazing. It takes like no cleanup for me. So it's just these type of things. The other big kits, they take so much cleanup. And then, it's just so complex and complicated that right now, trying to get established and have a footing, I'm going to kind of put these things on the back burner. So I don't know how I'm going to do it, if I'll have them available so for when guys ask or whatever, but I don't want to have them out front so that people are seeing them and looking to build that, because I think that it's a mistake unless you have hella skills coming into it. You would be happier with my cheapest rig set, right? Like you may feel like, well, I didn't spend enough money. You may see, these type of things, but when you drive the rig for what it is and driving it, it's easy to build, easy to drive, and it does amazing things. So it's like someone spent twice as much money for what now? Let's go. Don't flip at the top. So obviously this is a shorty, but this is Hobby Plus electronics, basically with an FMS battery. That's really what's going on, and a stock axial motor and transmission. That's all that's going on here. So we're talking about like for all the electronics in the rig, including your radio, if you bought it, it might be like $50. You know what I'm saying? Like $50 total for your motor, transmission. All right, so motor and transmission, that's probably $40. But then your ESC and receiver, that should be $30, so that's $70. And then the that servo, let's just say it's $10, and a battery. So we're at $100. We need axles and then the rig, all the plastic parts. So, dude, are you freaking kidding me, bro? That's another $70. That's $170 for everything inside the rig, and then the Texoma parts. So on this rig, you're looking at maybe with wheels, maybe like another $100. So, that's like a $300 build. So that seems like a lot, but when you're talking about, wait, so how much was that? Yeah, like $300 build. But when you're looking at like my normal SCX24 builds before would have been $500 to $600. So come bringing that down to 300 is just freaking crazy. I will do a full table and catch up on this rig, and then we will do a full build again with that rig and show off this shorty. I've went through so many configurations and so many builds in the last 2 weeks, bro. It's freaking crazy. I don't know. I had to build like 20 rigs, not necessarily from scratch. It's not like that, but, complete swap overs, right? From, just take everything that it was, and maybe you're changing even all the links and everything too. So, or maybe just swap it over and just change the chassis over or something like that, but complete, swap overs, dude, like so many times, so many configurations, motors, tires, weights, all these type of things, dude. And so again, just to clarify, I had recommended the ESC from the Hobby Plus, the FMS, and all these type of things. It turns out it may be the original FMS, FCX24 V1 ESC may be the same, but it is the Hobby Plus CR18P ESC receiver that I'm running, and it is what I recommended. It's so freaking good. It's what I used to run in Crevice and brag about and told everybody that the Pro in that combo was amazing, and it absolutely is. But come to find out, dude, the Pro is like twice as heavy as the stock motor. Not quite, but it's like 80%, almost double, dude. Like 12 grams or 14 grams to 22 plus. Just huge, like, it's crazy when you start looking at it, and when you're trying to build a lightweight rig and you find out how devastating putting that motor on is. It's crazy, bro. Like, so when I found out that I could fix the issue just by changing the electronics, it was a freaking no-brainer, bro. This ESC is rad. I went up to like 280 grams, so I gained like 30 grams in the wheels, and I put overdrive in. So we're running overdrive and another 30 grams over what we were on stock motor. And it's way better performing than it was with the Enduro Pro on the old electronics, both in the feel, the response, controllability, and then also the way that it's stability on the rocks because of that huge weight on an ultralight rig. You think you're like, oh, it's only a few grams. No, on this rig, when you make that change for the motor, it is a hurt. You have to go up so much in weight just to compensate that. You're like, and it's just like you realize, like, why would I do that? It was great before. There's absolutely no need to go to that motor there with these electronics. The next upgrade for me would be to put a Lizard Pro on here. The reason I would put a Lizard Pro and not some other, or you could go with the Nano or the Rockwolf from MOFO. Still haven't run mine, but I definitely would recommend that. The only drawback for me personally is I make so many changes. I use things all the time. Having Bluetooth is like a have to. So for me, I would prefer that. But as far as like once you get it, if you're just going to run that rig, it's no problem. I just don't even have a PC to tune with, so it's a total pain in the ass for me. I'm sure the ESC is great. And again, if you're just going to put it in the rig, then it's a great ESC. So highly recommend the ESC. I have tested it just a little bit. Felt great. But again, I just need to tune it. It can't be swapped. So I would recommend a Lizard Pro so you could swap it from brushless or brushed. And so that would be my next upgrade. I would say to swap your electronics, your receiver, and your ESC to a Lizard Pro. Or if you're building it, just build it with that from the very beginning and run it like that. It could be, that's it. Nothing else needed. It may not even need a brushless if you ran it on 3S with a Furotech because you can go down to a smaller battery. At the same time, the FCX24 batteries don't brown out when you do run brushless on the Lizard Pro. Oftentimes, on the Palm Power 180 batteries, they brown out. So the 3S 180 mods, they've been browning out. They've really been disappointing me, and I broke another wire, so I'm down to 2 from 4. Broke 2 wires on those batteries. Never broke an FCX24 FMS battery, by the way. So maybe, it's exposed more. Maybe I was harder on it. I don't think I did anything different. But to have those 2 break, and I got all my FMS batteries still work. I never broke a wire on my axial batteries. By the way, I would not run an axial battery in this rig, so it's going to be a pain in the ass. Just totally going to kill it, So That's one, negative, and one thing that you should think about if you're going to run a stock swap, that you might want to stay with the other cage. It's easy swap over. I'm going to make probably just the rails and the roof on this. I'll probably make it just $20. That would be no skid, so it's just the rails and the roof. That way, if you already have a Slayer, dude, making the changeover will be a no-brainer, right? Just $20, bro. Swap it over. Little cage is badass, bro. Not cages. It's like a little rat rod thing, bro. I don't know what it is. Freaking so sick. I'm so pumped on it, bro. So, this is there was another version without the little like hood or fenders in the front. So if you get one in your order, if you've already had an order, I do have a few of them that I did print, and you might get that. It may not be current, but it should look rad. It still will work unless you're running massive steering like I am, or just put it on a bigger front end. So there you go, dude. Like on the Gladiator or with the stretch front end, and you start to widen it out, it doesn't hit. But on the Shorty, and you got to stay narrow, it starts to hit. So the next upgrade after you've upgraded the ESC would be to go to the Nano Beast if you can find one. They're out of production. There will be a Nano Bam. That would be my next choice. Or there will be a new Nano something. I don't know what it's called. Or you could run a Micro, but I prefer both of those motors over the Micro. It's just they're better feeling in my opinion. Just great feeling. Just great motors, dude. Great job, Nick. So that would be so they're hella small. I'll show you how to mount it forward. I have it already set up in another rig, and that would be the ultimate. So this right here, just for money wise, this is almost there, bro. I bet you if you put the FureTech, you might not even worry about going to brushless. It's that freaking good. So, and I don't know, I never actually ran it. I just ran it on the table, and it felt amazing plugged in with the 3S on FureTech. So I do have to try that. So we will show that before I really. Come on, this is just too big a bite, dude. And with the wet, it's just so freaking hard. I felt like I had it the one time. I just couldn't pull the rear wheels up there. Sorry, dude. I haven't really been talking about what's on the rocks. Biggest thing of this video was just for me to try to talk and get some crap out of my head and show off the new rig. So this is really without tuning. It really could still be tuned a little bit. I did tune, but at the same time, I got other rigs ready just went through the other builds. I did 3 builds with this cage. Oh wait, no, 2 builds with this cage that went through multiple iterations to get the link sets right and everything like that. So I was going to drive the Pink Rage, as I said at the beginning of this video, but it just started getting dark, and it was just, I didn't want to finish the edit, dude. I just had too much to do. This is enough to get out. Just show this thing off, and we will show off the rest of it later, dude. The Rage is freaking rad. Also on that, my steering, the knuckles were a little loose, and also the wheel nuts were a little loose, so it was real wobbly. Also, it has no bands. That was the biggest thing. So all those combined, it was a little bit bouncy and chattery, and so it was just not the best showing. And with all those things being super dark, and not the greatest show-off video just because of little mechanicals, I didn't want to mess with putting that out. So we will show that off later on this week. I will be just cranking out as many videos as I can, and I will be getting your orders out, dude. I very much apologize to everybody that was delayed. There was a few guys that did order STK parts that I had put off a little bit. Just because I was working on it, and I would rather hold you off for a few days and you get the freshest parts and the best thing to work than send you out something and you feel like, oh well, I just ordered this and you already made it better. So that's the way I felt, dudes, and that's also why I took everything down. I didn't want guys ordering old stuff when they could turn around and order something just a few days later that I felt like was better. So everything worked, right? It wasn't that it wasn't good. It was just a lot of work to make work, and then also these things have their own quirks and characteristics that you have to learn how to drive. And if you don't have that skill, then it's maybe not better and maybe actually worse. So Craig definitely picking some freaking great leader lines, dude, showing himself off. 65 versus 55, bro. The tires make the difference, dude. Oh my gosh. And the width, the length. He stood all the way up there as he crossed that. Couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I was frustrated. I wasn't driving super good this day, anyways, and it just wasn't the best day. We didn't get it, dude. Craig, you kicked his ass today. You got him on a few different ones, dude. Great job. But by the way, that's purple, by the way. That's not Cliff. That is a Gladiator. It is stock rails. It's got a MOFO LCG front end or something, and just about the best that you can make. That thing has been on the channel many times in many configurations. That is the Perp, or aka Billy Badass from back in the day. So to lose to such a great and epic freaking build that's been on the channel, it's no big deal, dude. You're a monster. Great job, freaking Craig. Great build. And we'll bring him out, dude, and we'll show you up next time, dude. Next time. And don't make me bring out a baddie, bro. Not that this little guy's not a baddie. It's just, when the rig is almost twice as big, bro, it's hard to say this one's a baddie and that one is too. So we're trying to make the most affordable kiss. Keep it simple, stupid. Right? That's my deal, dude. I can start making all this stuff and it's super fun, and it's by the way, this rig is looking badass. And I do think that I can make new techniques to make those doors and everything come out and print super duper clean. With new technique. It's just stacking the materials rather than trying to print three-dimensional on both inside and outside. I'll stack the materials and they can either be screwed or glued together. We'll see. So with the new kit actually gets, by the way, Sammy does make it. I left all this fight in here so you could see that, dude, sometimes it is worth it to keep at it. Great job, Sam. Still lacking steering on that guy, but we'll get him, dude. We'll get him dialed, Sam. All right, back to the little guy and stacking materials. So on the new guy, I made 3mm spacers for the transmission skid, where like on the Elite stepped out and it was all part of like the rail. Well, instead of doing that, I just made a tiny little spacer that you put a couple screws in. You can leave it like that, or just glue it in place, take the screws out, and then that's it. Very cool to be able to stack materials. So I did that for the transmission skid, and then I also had to do that for the front shock mounts for this configuration. The tires were hitting the chassis so bad that I had to actually cut all the chassis out and actually stepped it in right there in the fender wells in the front. So that's cool little technique, tiny little parts that make it just print super easy, super duper clean, not hard to assemble. Just keep it simple, dude. Freaking A, bro. Super rad parts. And so I will take this as I go back through. We'll finish this up and I'll go back through all the rigs and we'll just make them print easy, clean up. And as long as I can, get all the parts out, I don't mind bringing out everything that I have. It's just, if they don't have a video, if they don't have specific things and teaching on how to build and how to drive those rigs, it's really hard for me to be comfortable with them out there. And so also with the time that it takes to print on the printer, so it's taking forever, and then the cleanup takes forever, and so you're like, dude, so I could have done all of these and dealt so many more orders in this amount of time, and then I can only get this one out. And yes, it's a lot of money, but it's almost it's pretty close. But there were times where I was going down my print time, the money for the printer was going way down, and then my time is hardly not even considered, so like I just had to I gotta figure out how to be able to put these parts out and be able to make a living, and keep up with everybody, dude. There's so many things, and it doesn't take very many orders, bro, and it's just too much. It's, with all the colors, and anyways, too much to do with all the big rigs, complex rigs. So gonna keep it simple, stupid, kiss me, bro, and that's really it. So Sammy's in the leader, dude. We're letting him just kind of rock out. He finished across the top here, but it was just kind of boring. We weren't doing anything cool. And I was hoping that by now that I would have said all the things that I really needed to say and were important. So stay tuned, dudes. We have freaking tips and tricks with Tex. We got all kind of cool stuff coming out, bro. So the listings will be filled out. All the dudes asking for links and all this stuff like this, they are there. So I appreciate you, dudes. Rip, flip.